Business in need of more funding, overwhelmed by the search of potential funders and not seeing the results you would like? I am Michelle Rollins, veteran military spouse, a grant writer expert and fundraising professional. I have transformed ideas to real life transformations in many nonprofits and businesses. Let me transform your ideas to a whole new level. Reach out today for a consultation. Find me at Michelle Rollins LinkedIn and Facebook, and at Michelle Rollins Grants on YouTube. Welcome. You are on My King Biz Radio, heard on ESPN Richmond 106.1 FM, and I am Michelle Rollins, your fundraising and grant radio expert. Thank you for tuning in. I'm here with Lila Lawson. Again, if you've tuned in before, you have been here and visited, you have seen Lila here. Thank you for coming back.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and today she actually brought something. We're going to talk about that toward the end of the segment. But I wanted to have you back because I wanted to talk more about your branding and marketing for different businesses, services that you offer. And the steps that you take to help your clients have a successful logo that represents them personally and what they stand for in their business. So if you're tuning in today, thank you. Lila's going to talk a little bit about this topic and what she can do for your organization or business. So I'm going to let you take it away.
All right. So as Michelle said, I'm a local graphic designer and digital illustrator based out of Midlothian, Virginia. Mm-hmm. And basically, I can create. I specialize in creating logos, doing social media graphics. I'm very good at creating templates for social media. A lot of times, it can be. I know it can be very jarring to create graphics that are cohesive enough that what you want as a brand is to be able to have. Your customers looking through, they might be going through their social media. You want them to see a graphic for your company and immediately know, like that's X, yes. Y, or Z. And so that's kind of where I come in. A lot of times it looks like finding your specific font, your logo itself. What are you trying to communicate? So that's kind of what my job is to help you communicate to your customers just by looking at your logo, your graphics, your social media, like what you're providing them, like which service you're providing them.
Well, a couple years ago, I met you through my husband because your husband is a first responder, and I think both not only your husband but you and your family, because it takes a family really to have the backbone and to support a first responder because it's not an easy life. And I know we came in together representing a first responder organization, which was Chesterfield Gives Back. Mm-hmm. It supports the first responders of Chesterfield County. All the first firefighters, EMS, police officers, the 911 dispatchers. I feel like I'm missing another one in that group. Yeah, I'm having a moment. Sorry, guys. It's still January, and there's so much going on, so many moving parts. But when we met, I was the fundraising professional consultant coming in, helping to get sponsors to support our first responders, bringing it in for a special day of just celebration, coming together as one, showing thanks and our gratitude for the ones that help us and keep us safe in Chesterfield County, Virginia. And Lila came in because my husband recommended her to me, and I recommended her to the founder because I thought it made sense. Because why not have first responder spouses supporting their families and the group as a whole for a day that's for their families? And she came in and you supported you helped with the spreadsheets, well, not the spreadsheets, the documents that had the sponsors on it. Because we actually were working indirectly with each other, because the founder would say, okay, she needs this, I need this from you. And we would be back and forth because I was talking about the numbers. He would ask me, is the font okay? And I'm like, I do the fundraising and I know the numbers, and the sponsors and the donors, the meetings. But when it comes to that type of area, that is not my expertise. I've learned from great folks like Lila. That is part of growing every day. And Lila did a terrific job for that organization. Since then, we've both moved on. She actually represents other people. She's actually represented my logo for my business. And I represent a lot of different clients, including another first responder nonprofit as well that represents our underserved communities with our law enforcement in another county. That also kind of branches out to other states. So I really appreciate all the work that you have done for our first responders and their families, because that was one of the biggest events for that particular organization that year.
Yeah.
We had a lot of sponsors. I think we hit record numbers, and the sponsor forms, people were I could tell the donors really liked those forms.
Yeah.
And you had a big hand in that with your graphic design. Again, I don't know. I've listened to you with the graphic, the font, the imaging. You look at what tailors that particular person or organization or business, and you figure it out by looking at all the different, stuff about the organization. Plus, you were a part of that organization by attending it prior.
Yeah.
So you had a little bit of knowledge, and you already kind of did some research to get to that point, to make a great handout to give to donors, which again, it takes more than just the fundraising specialist, but a team like the marketing, like the brand person, the graphic designer, to come in and make a great handout to give to donors, to sponsors. And that's why her job is very important in a nonprofit world, because you need to have a great graphic designer. And that goes into now, present day. Lila has been not only on my show quite often, but she also has done my logo for M. Rollins Enterprises, LLC. And she and I talked back and forth. And one of the things was the images and what represented my brand. And do you want to take us in that process on your end a little bit?
Sure. So one of the things that I find really important is, whenever we're going into the process of design a logo, I want to know like the person's story, like what's important to them, what is their vision for their brand. What are they, what message are they trying to convey? Things that are special to them. Like I know, Michelle, you mentioned that, you have a military background. I do as well. Like my dad was Air Force. And so we wanted to incorporate that into the logo. We also would, you had some colors that you had in mind, and we did our best to see how that looked.
Yes.
And one of the things, I feel like I've said this before, but I go into this process without an ego. I don't like going in being like, oh, I'm the graphic designer. I'm the artist. This is going to look great. So whenever, I always try to be very like open and make my clients feel like they can communicate with me if they don't like something or if something's not quite right. And I feel like we did a good job with that.
Yeah. And you were very, you didn't come in with any ego at all. You were like, tell me what you want. We can start here. And I agreed, because I have never been through this process. In this particular position. I've seen it in my role representing organizations, but usually I'm more of the kind of the passive person in the process, because usually it goes to the executive director, the founder, just like it did with us. And sometimes people ask my advisement, and other times not so much. And in this case, it mattered a lot, because this is what's going to represent me for a very long time. And I've worked very hard for a very long time to get here. And it meant a lot to not only pick the right graphic designer, but also to know that she is going to hear my vision and also give her thoughts, because she is the expert in that area. I am not. And I had a couple ideas, because I have great mentors that shared their vision with me, because it's great to have mentors, especially ones that believe in you. And a lot of my mentors are older than me, and I love and still believe that mentors are so important in the education field, in what I do in the business world. I think every profession should have a mentor, and to get their feedback and then listen to my own what I want to, and then to listen to you and your advice. Like you said, we went through many colors. Part of the colors represent not only the military, but the blue represents the first responders. And it's not that I'm just exclusive with the military and first responders, but that is my area of my life. And I know that world very well, as well as education and food insecurities. Those are my biggest points. But those are my two areas that I can kind of write in my sleep and really do well in it because I understand it. I have the empathy, I have the passion, and you do too, because as you said, the military was part of your life.
Yeah.
And then you're also married to a first responder.
Yes.
And so you knew that, I wanted these things, but at the same time, you gave me areas of growth, because I know when we got to the format part, and I'm probably speeding up the process a little bit, but the format part, she was really educating me on, because I'm here having a moment because I have due dates on my calendar of when I want to put things up, posting it to share with the world, right? And I'm like, I can't get this to post. What is wrong with this link? Why can't I get this? And I'm not the most savviest when it comes to technology. I learn every day, and I'm always learning more. But I was able to breathe because you were like, yep, this is what goes to this type of how you use this template, I guess, for this. Yeah. And this is how you use this file for the other. So she did help because I had no idea. And I'm like, I want to get this out. Mm-hmm. And Lila was there to help me in that process.
I'm glad I was
and yes, and again, her expertise helped me, and it gave me a good, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I got this beautiful file, and then she sent me all the other files, and it was not an overnight process. I have other friends that are graphic designers, but I think really great folks that are great in what they do in their profession are the listeners, willing to take positive criticism, and also learn in the process, because every client is different. I do not treat my clients the same. I have to think about where they're coming from and their teams, and what their way of thinking is, and I believe that you do the same thing.
Yes.
And when you delivered, when we got it all straight and we got the final product, I was really just thrilled to share it with my husband, share it with my kids. And then I put it out to the world a little short time later, and you did a really good job, because you looked at all the details. You went from the image to the font to I guess that would be the size. And then making sure, like, we even added a star to my brand.
Yes.
And you helped make sure that was sized up.
Yeah.
And I definitely, from working with you in the past to now, I not only see that you are really good in your area, but talented, but you've also grown, just like me, just like so many other people in the professions, and they're willing to grow, learn, and get better. Yeah. And you were already great when I met you, but you've really excelled. And if you are a nonprofit, and I'll shoot for the nonprofits out there first, because I represent nonprofits. Definitely, if you need a graphic designer for your events, because I know many of you are going to have your major events anywhere from the spring to the fall, connect with Lila. She's on Instagram. Mm-hmm. She is on LinkedIn. And I believe you have a YouTube channel.